Okay, hello, and for the next video, okay, hello, and for the next video on this YouTube channel, I'm going to do a Pokemon starter tier list. I just did a Smash Ultimate tier list, of course, because this channel is going to be based around, Nintendo, Smash, Pokemon, Zelda, Dragon Quest, Marvel, and everything else that I like, Smite as well. I want to do some stuff there, but my next tier list is going to be a Pokemon starter tier list. I'll start from Gen 1. And yeah, the Smash Ultimate one I just did was based on how much I like the characters, how nostalgic they are for me, how much I relate to them, stuff like that. And I think I did that pretty well. Obviously, my three mains were at the top. Uh, Dragon Quest Hero, uh, Greninja, Ganondorf, representing Dragon Quest, Pokemon, and Zelda. And speaking of Pokemon, I'm going to rank the Pokemon starters right now. Let's start with Gen 1. Okay. Charmander. C. Charizard is, of course, classic Pokemon. I think C. Most of these are nostalgic because, like I said, I grew up with Pokemon. I love Pokemon. But next up is Bulbasaur. I'm going to also have to say a C. Just the same reason, really. Just, you know, it's Bulbasaur. I mean, there's a lot of tiers on this, so I'll put them up to B. They're not that bad. They're average. Squirtle, though, is an A. I mean, if you see moving forward, I kind of prefer water starters because my first one was Totodile, which I'll get into next. I've always picked water starters ever since my first Pokemon game, which was Pokemon Heart Gold on the DS. That was my first Pokemon game more than a decade ago in like 2010 when I was 7 years old. Of course, I'm now 18 and it's 2021. But yeah, it's been more than a decade, and that's why Totodile is S tier. My first Pokemon starter and my favorite. Probably one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Totodile for Alligator. Just such a good Pokemon. I mean, I have a few other favorites. Suicune, I really like. Articuno, Kyogre. A lot of the water, ice type Pokemon, legendaries, stuff like that. But for Alligator, Totodile will always be near the top for me. I do love Totodile. Moving on, more Johto Gen 2 starters, and of course Johto is my favorite generation of Pokemon. Sinnoh is also second because Pokemon Heart Gold was a remake, so it's Gen 4 and Gen 2 at the same time technically. But yeah, we go to Chikorita. I'm tempted to give an S, but because it's not a water type, A+. But I love Chikorita as well. I just love Johto in Gen 2, which is why Cyndaquil is also A+, because I just love Gen 2. So yeah, both of them are there. Then we get to Gen 3. Gen 3 was cool. Hoenn was cool. Trico is A. I mean, you kind of get the Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time nostalgia there, because Grovar was a big part of that. So, yeah, I think you're above Squirtle, to be honest. Although I prefer water types. Yeah, Mudkip, B. I know I like water types, but Mudkip was just never one of my favorites. Did pick him though in Alpha Sapphire, of course, because I always pick the water types. Torchic though, Blaziken's pretty cool, so an A. So far they're all good. You can't go wrong with any of these. Speaking of not going wrong, Gen 4. I think the best starters are actually... No, Gen 2 are the best starters, but then Gen 4. Sinnoh Gen 4 is honestly just kind of perfect. I'll start with Chimchar, who... I mean, Infernape is just so cool. A. It's just so nostalgic, to be honest. And then we got Piplup. Primplop, Empoleon, S. Empoleon, such a cool Pokemon. So nostalgic as well. definitely an S for Piplup. And then Turtwig, Torterra, that's also a A. Because nostalgia, and just a really good Pokemon as well. And then Gen 5, Unova, actually quite underrated. People don't like Unova. The starters weren't great, I'll be honest, to be fair. But Unova in general and Black and White on the DS were just great. Oshawott. Oshawott and Duot, I mean, this is controversial. They're okay, but Samurott just isn't good. I really just don't like Samurott. But I like Oshawott, so I'll do the bottom of B. I'll do the bottom of B. I'll leave it at that. The bottom of B, and that's where it will stay. I think. Nah, I think I do like Oshawott though, but I really don't like Samurott. So here, above Bulbasaur. Then we've got Snivy, bottom of B. Just maybe C, just not good. C actually. Superior's just not that good. But I like Unova. I'll do B. And then Froakie, Greninja, Frogadier, and S. I could have a separate top. Actually, I'm gonna do that. How do you add another one? Add row above. I'll just do a separate Totodile tier, and then he goes in that. Okay, yeah, there we go. And then S, and then Greninja can. Actually, no. Empoleon can be above Greninja, but both of these are kind of equal. Greninja's, like I said, one of my mains in Smash, so I do love Greninja. And Gen 6 was also really good. Not as good as Gen 4 or Gen 2 or even Gen 5. I mean, Gen 4, not a good example. Gen 5, but it was still really good. Gen 6 was good. And then, I mean, it was good, but it was not great. It wasn't perfect, like Heart Gold or Diamond, you know. Gen 4, Gen 2, Gen 3 even, Gen 5, they were perfect. The DS era of Pokemon was perfect. Gen 4, Gen 5 was just so good. Next up is... Well, I've done... Wait, what? Did I even get onto Gen 6? What am I doing? I haven't finished Gen 5. Gen 5, Emboar, not good. B. C. B. And then, yeah, Gen 6, Greninja S. And then, also Gen 6, Chespin is a D. Just not good. And Fennekin is a C. Also not good. Like I said, Gen 6 was okay, but starters weren't actually great, if I'm honest. I think Snivy should go down. Nah, I am still nostalgic for Gen 5, to be honest. But yeah, then we get to Gen 7 and Gen 8. Gen 7, I liked. I had it on the 3DS. Gen 8, I don't like. But we've got Litten, Incineroar, bottom of B. Okay, Poplio. Actually, I do like Primarina. So we'll put you in A right here. These ones are obviously more nostalgic and stuff like that. But we'll put you at the bottom of A. Rowlet is okay. Rowlet can go like here. And then these three are all E. Change that to F. Yeah, I'm not even... He's above them, but... the Galar Gen 8 starters, no. I mean, even their fully evolved ones are even worse, to be honest. So they are at the bottom. And yeah, that is my Pokemon tier list. Pokemon starters. Yeah, Totodile is the best. That's the best Pokemon. I love Totodile so much. I love Pokemon Heart Gold. And then we've got Piplup and Empoleon. Such a good Pokemon. So nostalgic as well. Gen 4, those kind of times, you know. When I was like 7, 8 years old. I was young. I'm now 18. It's 2021, but yeah, I was like 6, 7, 8 around then. And then same with Totodile, because that was my first Pokemon game when I was 7. So yeah, then Froakie, Greninja, S. And then obviously these two are A plus because Pokemon Heart Gold and Gen 4. Gen 2, I mean, Gen 2 during Gen 4. Speaking of Gen 4, got the rest here. And mixed in with, Gen 3, Pokemon Mystery Dungeons for all the time. And Popular, because Popular I actually do like, so it's an A. B, all of these average. I don't mind any of them, except moving towards the end a bit, where... and then the Gen 6 ones weren't actually great, come to think of it. And then the Gen 8 ones, trash. That's it. That's my Pokemon starter tier list.